Back to Law and Crime. We're there for the sentencing hearing. It's underway for the defendant Christopher Gregor. He was convicted in June of aggravated manslaughter and endangering the welfare of a child in the April 2021 death of his 6-year-old son, Corey Michulo. Now, the boy died after suffering seizures while undergoing a CT scan at the hospital. His cause of death initially ruled a homicide for blunt force trauma. Gregor facing a maximum sentence of 40 years in prison. Let's get into court right now.
Your Honor, Christine Lento appearing on behalf of the state.
Assistant Prosecutor Jamie Schroen for the state.
Good afternoon, Ms. Lento. Good afternoon, Ms. Schroen. Mario. Good afternoon, Your Honor. Mario Bellucci on behalf of Mr. Gregor, who is seated to my left.
Thank you both. Good afternoon, Mr. Gregor. Mr. Gallucci, there is a pre-sentence investigation report in this matter prepared in anticipation of sentencing. Did you have an opportunity to review it with your client, and is it accurate for sentencing?
It is, Judge. I have had an opportunity to review my client. I actually reviewed it with him in person this week, and it is accurate. There are no corrections to be made to it. Thank you.
Mr. Gregor, you have the right to address me regarding your sentencing, sir. You have 45 days from today to appeal the sentence I'm about to impose upon you. If you miss that time frame, you could lose your right to appeal. If you can't afford an attorney on an appeal, one will be appointed for you. Separately, you have 5 years from today to file what's known as a petition for post-conviction relief. Those 5 years are not enlarged or extended by any time spent on appeals. If you miss the 5-year time frame, you could lose your right to petition. And again, if you couldn't afford an attorney on a petition, won't be appointed for you. Those are your appellate rights, sir. Do you understand those?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Mr. Gallucci, at some point today, would you have Mr. Gregor student appeal rights form?
Absolutely.
Should be one in the box right in front of you there. All right, so I'll hear from defense counsel. Mr. Gregor, if he wishes to make a statement. I'll hear from Mr. Gallucci if he has any family members of the defense that wish to be heard, and I'll hear whether the state objects or consents to that. Then I'll hear from the state, and I'll let the state guide me as to what victims would like to be heard. Mr. Gallucci.
Your Honor, I just want to start by commending the staff that you have here in Ocean County, from the sheriff's offices to the clerks, all the people that I was involved with over the length of this trial. And even today, they've treated me and my client with the utmost respect and dignity, and they should be commended for that.
Thank you for those comments.
Thank you. Judge, there are no winners here. We have a young lady who overcame many obstacles in her life and is now the mother of a new child. She is moving on with her life, but will always be reminded on a daily basis of the loss of her first child. Then we have a young man here in the prime of his career who is just convicted of very serious crimes that will lead to his incarceration for a significant amount of time. And then we have Corey, who I never had the opportunity to meet, but from the videos I've seen and the pictures I've seen, was a gregarious, energetic, funny child who loved the solar system. Christopher's parents, Dave and Carolyn, have regaled me with stories of Corey. And he's the victim here. So I'm going to rely on my submission to you and the mitigating factors. I believe I relied on mitigating factor 2, 7, 8, and 9. And I'm going to ask you to craft a very fast sentence.
Thank you. I acknowledge receipt of the sentencing memorandum by defense counsel, the sentencing memorandum by the state, some additional exhibits by the state, and a variety of letters, which I'll discuss in detail later. Mr. Gregor, sir, is there anything you'd like to say about yourself or your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please go ahead.
Just want to say thank you for the opportunity to speak today. And Brianna, we haven't talked since Corey passed away. With everything that has been said, I just want to tell you that I'm sorry that you lost Corey. He was, to say simply, the best. I know we'll miss him for the rest of our lives. And the 2 years that I knew Corey were very difficult, but they were the greatest years of my life. And he was a happy, energetic, loving, radiant young boy who flourished in his life in all aspects the last year of his life. And sorry. That will be how I remember him. And Corey, wherever you are, I just want to say that I'm proud of you, everything that you did. The last months of his life, us three, Brianna, Corey, and me, we spent more time together than apart. All those hikes and walks, trips to the beach, time spent playing football and all the other sports, going to Sky Zone, the park, the playground, sledding, and all of that, I saw how much Brianna loved Corey, how much he loved her, and how well we could co-parent together. Those memories and all the good times, they'll be what I remember, and they helped me get through the tough days. And I hope that they can help you too, Brianna. I'm sorry you believe I could have done this to our son, and it pains me to know that you view my actions those months together as ingenuine, that I could have hurt the most important person in my life. What happened on March 20th was inexcusable. To you, Brianna, your family, and mine, I want to apologize that you had to see Corey treated that way. He never deserved it. I understand this single moment will overshadow all of the others, but it's not representative of who I am, who Corey was, and his relationship with me and him. I want to assure you that on April 2nd, I did nothing to cause Corey's passing. I didn't hurt my son. I love him and I still do. I regret not bringing him to the hospital sooner. I didn't know how sick he was. I didn't know. I just thought he was tired. And whether you believe Dr. Bodden or Dr. Andrews' version of the events, the outcome is still the same. Corey is gone. He had so much to give this world, and he still can. What we do in his memory, for his memory, things that he would want us to do, that's all we have now. To the court staff, sheriff officers, to the jury, and to you, Your Honor, thank you for being professional through this whole process. I understand you have a job to do today, Your Honor. Sentence me for the crimes I've been convicted of today. I ask that you could please consider all of the evidence presented in and out of the courtroom when making your decision today. I ask you to sentence me fairly, taking into consideration my entire life, and not just based on the 12 days. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, sir.
Okay, defense statement. Christopher Gregor clearly thought that out very carefully, saying that he's sorry we lost Corey. Interesting phrase. He was the best. In the 2 years they were together, he was the best years of the defendant's life. Remember, Corey was 6, but the first 4 years, he really didn't spend any time at all with his father. Eric Faddis is here, Katherine Lizardo. Eric, let me ask you, the jury could have found him guilty of first-degree murder. They didn't. They effectively mitigated and found him guilty of aggravated manslaughter. Do you think what he said to this court will affect the sentencing?
I think it surely will. And it's a difficult dance kind of that the defense has to do when they're still maintaining their innocence of the charges because they're going to file an appeal. But yet they still want to try to show some degree of remorse. And so that's sort of what we heard from Mr. Gregor and from his attorney there. There wasn't a ton of personal accountability, in my opinion. There was a lot of talking about how great the child was, but that kind of emphasizes the gravity of the loss that Gregor caused, according to the jury. So I'm not sure how much emphasizing that helped him. Usually we hear that emphasized by the prosecution. Yeah,
you always wonder going into sentencing where the judge is on it, if there's anything that could even change what decision he's about to make. We'll keep you posted on that as the sentencing unfolds in the Gregor case. We do have an update as well after a quick break here on the case against Chad Dorman. This is an Ohio case. You'll remember he killed his 3 sons. It was a gruesome story. He killed one, kind of chased the other 2 out of the house and killed them, and they were so young. 2, 4, and 6, I believe it was. Anyway, there's a big update on that. We're going to bring it to you right after this break. Stay where we are.